Is Britain becoming one of the most unfair societies to live in? In this video, Talk TV's Ian Collins and New Culture Forum's Dr. Philip Kiszely discuss how the government plans to build new homes for asylum seekers to end the use of hotels, while British citizens struggle with housing. We will also explore why the citizen first principle matters. Before we get into the details, if you love diving into political issues and enjoy hearing a principled take on them, then hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to join the conversation. It will help our channel reach a wider audience.
Start then with this story of refurbishing or even building brand new council homes, not for people that have been paying their taxes forever in this country and have been on the list, but for those that floated across the channel on a rubber boat. Now, we hear about housing shortages. Let's remind ourselves of Keir Starmer on a previous liaison committee appearance when he was asked about the supply of housing. Here's what he said.
Just a big pinpoint before. What other accommodation precisely are you planning to take over to provide temporary accommodation for families?
Oh, there's lots of housing in many local authorities that can be used, and we're identifying where it can be used. But I mean, look,
sorry, could you give us? Have you got any examples you can give us?
No, but I'll write in and give you details.
Because I would say certainly in a number of our local authorities, I've already picking up from around the table, there isn't a lot of spare housing available. If there were, councils would be able to be dealing with it. Now.
Well, exactly.
That was a very woeful appearance from Starmer. Clearly his lawyer brain left the room as he began to answer that. Well, there's loads of houses. We got loads of houses. Of course, we haven't, but they are planning on building some, but not for indigenous Brits and those people who pay taxes, but for asylum seekers to get them out of the hotels.
Yeah, well, I'm going to use that line in future, actually. If I don't know something, I'll say, well, I'll write in. It's
so we have to do.
I'll just write in. Yeah, I mean, talk about putting you in a bad mood first thing in the morning. Reading this story just made me livid, really, really angry. This is the latest installment in the stupidest story in the world, and that's Starmer's Britain and the migration crisis. It really does beg a belief. There are 1.3 million people on the social housing waiting lists at the moment, Ian. And we've been told year after year that, we just can't build enough. We just can't build enough. And nothing ever gets built. Also that's how it seems. Then all of a sudden, migrants are put into the equation, and then, hey presto, they pour two chemicals together and lots of council houses and flats appear. Yeah. So it is just the same thing over and over again. It's British people, many of whom will be families living in woefully inadequate accommodation, B&Bs and God knows. Okay, and people who literally, as you just said before, came over on rubber dinghies, get 5-star treatment, and it is just really appalling. I mean, this is on the back of, for example, 2021 census, Ian, I'm reading this, 48% of social housing in London occupied by foreign-born heads of household. Now, if you would just go back even 20 years or 30 years, if I read that statistic out to you, you'd say there was something incredibly wrong with this country.
Yeah, well, you'd think you were making it up, right? I mean, they're such outrageous big numbers. You'd assume that someone had just inflated a story to make a point.
Well, I mean, this is it, and this just tells you how things have changed in this country. So in 2018, there were about under 300 asylum seekers coming over in small boats, who successfully made the journey, weren't turned back halfway through. Kind of thing did happen in those days. Cut to 2022, just 4 years later, that number goes up to 45,000. Okay, so the government and successive governments are doing absolutely nothing about this. We are a magnet for the rest of the world, and I'm just looking at the images there. What are those men going to do? They're all men. Are they going to contribute to the economy? Are they going to contribute to culture and society? No, I really don't think they are, and they are economic migrants, clearly. So this is a major, major crisis. There are 36,000 asylum seekers in hotels at the moment, and there are 71,000 in what they dispersal accommodation. This is a massive crisis. And frankly, whatever the government did, it would be wrong, because the core problem is people coming over, and they need to stop that. And actually, they need to start sending these people back.
Do the government, and this is where it gets really troubling, I sense, Philip, do the government genuinely think in their hearts and their minds that by doing this, by taking these people, nearly all young men, average age about 23, 25, that they are solving a problem? Do they think that the electorate will go, oh, thank you, Keir Starmer, that's brilliant, you did get rid of the hotel problem?
No, I don't think they do, because I don't think they can think that far ahead. I think this government are in 24 hours ahead and nothing more. They are just in rabbit in headlights survival mode, and they can't really do much more. I mean, you know, as I say, let's be honest, there is no solution to this problem within the country. It isn't about building more council houses. If they do that and they house these people in council houses, then they just create another massive problem, as I think you said before, and they create resentment, because what we have at the moment is probably the unfairest society we've seen for decades, for a very, very long time. We have women and children who are frankly frightened to walk the streets because, you know, as we see every day in news stories, time after time, and we cover on this channel so many times, you know, rapes, murders, and God knows what happening. And it's always asylum seekers, you know, it's always people from cultures who see women and children not only as second-class citizens, but as barter material. So there is something fundamentally wrong here, and it's working right across society. It's deep, it's complex, and this government are such a joke, they cannot do anything about it whatsoever.
The citizen first principle means that in a democracy, the government's core responsibility is to take care of its own citizens first. The people pay taxes, follow the laws, and put the government in power to work for them. So the priority must always be the welfare and fairness for the citizens above everyone else. Can you imagine working so hard, paying your taxes, maybe living in your car, sleeping on a friend's sofa, or bouncing back and forth, living in Airbnb accommodations, while being on the social housing waiting list, only to hear the government say that they are going to build new homes and refurbish others for thousands of asylum seekers, many of whom come over on rubber boats illegally and have paid no taxes in the system? This directly violates the citizen first principle. How would that make you feel? This is unfair to the British people. The government's priority should be to send these illegals expeditiously back to where they came from, instead of placing them all over the country in new homes, putting citizens last, creating chaos. Does the government believe that by transferring the problem from asylum hotels to social housing, while putting the British people at a disadvantage, that this will cause the British people to appreciate them more? Is the government looking out for the asylum seeker, the British people, or themselves? Is this planned by the government to overwhelm communities and dilute the vote in order to keep control? The government has totally lost its way. And no matter how much they hear the British people voice their opinions, they refuse to listen. They are intent on carrying on down this path. Anyone with common sense or any common decency can see that this plan is not reasonable. Against the citizen first principle, how is it that everyone else is being prioritized over the British citizens? It's the government's responsibility to always remember the citizen first principle and put the British people first every single time. What do you think? Should the government put British citizens first or carry on as they are? Let us know your thoughts below. If you have benefited in any way from this video, please subscribe, like, share, and be sure to leave us a comment.